Hello, 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 everyone. How is everybody doing today? So I'm coming to you live to share something that I think a lot of you may know, but just in case you don't, social media marketing is important to your business, but you could very well be doing your social media all wrong. And I see this time and time again from just a lot of different people that show up online, and that's great that you're showing up. I see you showing up. I see you doing live streams, and all of that is all good and well. But if you're not doing or marketing your social media the right way, then it doesn't really matter how often you're showing up, because if you're doing it wrong, then it's just not going to work, right? So I'm here today to share with you some things that you are doing wrong. And I'm also going to share with you how you can correct those things. So what can you do differently so that you can have a better end result with your social media? All right, so give me a minute. I'm just waiting for a few more people to into the room and to share this out a little bit. All right, so I think we're good to go. Hello, everybody. See. Hello, hi guys. How are you doing? How you doing? I hope everybody's doing good. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate you very much. What's up, Kimberly? How are you, Dorielle? Hey, Karen. Hi, Key. Rosemary. All of my favorite people are here. How are you doing? Hey, Cassie. Hey, Famira. Hi, Jackie. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So for those of you that are watching, if you're watching on my Facebook personal page, my business page, please go ahead and share this out so we can get as many eyes on this as possible, because this is something that is happening in the online community a lot. And I want to do my part to help and make sure that it doesn't keep happening. Because in all reality, social media marketing is a great thing if you know how to do it and if it's done right. And if you don't, it can feel like a struggle all the time. All right. So let me ask you some questions, and I want you to be completely honest with me in the chat, right? We're friends here. For those of you that know me, if you don't know me, my name is Lakeisha Sarba. I'm an online marketing and sales funnel strategist. And what I do is I help my ideal clients to attract their ideal clients using lead magnets. And I also teach them how to continue to build loyal paying customers through sales funnels, right? And lead generation funnels. And so that is what I do. A part of that sales funnel, or a part of that client attraction piece, and knowing how to attract your ideal client has a lot to do with social media, especially if you're showing up here on a social media platform. Like I am all over Facebook right now. I'm on my Facebook business page. I'm in a couple of my groups. I'm on my personal page because I want to get this message out. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you some real questions, and I want you to be completely honest with me here, right? How many of you that are watching me right now are struggling to market your business using social media, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever your platform or preference is? I want you to put a 1 in the chat and just be honest, right? Are you running into a problem? Are you not attracting as many people as you would like to attract on social media? Right? Are you not making as many sales as you would like when you're marketing on social media? I'd like to hear from you. If that is the case and you feel like you could be doing more, you could be reaching more people, you could be building a larger community, you could be making more money. I want to know, like, put 1s in the chat. Be honest, because the only way that I can help you and for you to be able to help yourself is if you're honest. So I see some 1s in the chat. Thank you so much for throwing those 1s up. And thank you so much for being honest about where you are. Because only when we can be honest, that is where the conversations happen. That is where doors open for improvement. So thank you so much for being honest about that. Okay. So another question that I want to ask you is, do you know where your target audience hangs out online? So you should know who your ideal client is, right? If you don't know, then you have to do the work. But if you know who your ideal client is, right? Do you know where they hang out online? I want you to put which social media platform does your ideal client hang out online at? Where is that? Is that Facebook? Is it mainly Instagram? Is it mainly LinkedIn? Now, I understand that you probably have your ideal clients maybe on several different platforms, right? I totally get that. But I want you to think about the main platform right now where your target audience hangs out. So where is that? I want you to just put one in the chat. I don't want you to put all 50, just one. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Pinterest? Where is your target audience hanging out? Your ideal client. Put one platform in the chat right now that where you know your ideal client is hanging out. Okay. We have IG, we have Facebook, we have IG, we have Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Valora, I want you to think about one of those platforms. If you had to choose one, Facebook or Instagram, where would you say your ideal client is hanging out the most? Where would you say that is? Pinterest, Facebook. Okay, I see you. All right, Facebook for Ivy, Facebook for Dorielle, Pinterest for Leslie. Okay, Rosemary is Facebook. Okay, Dorielle is Instagram as well. Okay, Kimberly is Facebook. Okay, great. Okay, so now that you know, right, or you have voiced where your target audience hangs out, and you have said, you know, you're not getting the engagement, you're not building the community, you're not making the sales that you want to make in your business by being and hanging out on these social media platforms. Let me ask you another question, okay? How much time are you spending on these platforms? And I want you to be honest with me. Put a number in. How many hours a day are you on said platform? Is it 6? Is it 5? Is it 2? Is it 1 hour? Right? So listen, I want you to know that there is no right or wrong answer here. I'm just really trying to get the temper of my audience. So how much time are you spending on that social media platform? I want to know, honestly, how much time are you spending? 1 hour a day, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 1 hour a day. How many hours are you spending? Okay. Rebecca says 6 hours, 2 hours. Okay. Dorielle says 1 hour a day. Okay. Candy says 2 hours a day. Valora says 3 hours a day. Rosemary says 6 to 8 hours a day. You're not the only one, Rosemary. A lot of people are on Facebook all day, all day long. Okay. Let's see. Kimberly says 0. Okay, Kimberly. Shannon says 1 hour a day. Leslie, 2 hours a day. Facebook user says 5 to 8 hours a day. Okay. Nika says 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. Marvette says 3 hours total. Okay. All right. So now that we know the length of time that you're spending on social media, we know that you're spending anywhere from 1 hour to 8 hours a day on social media on the platform that you know that your ideal client hangs out on. But yet you're still not attracting, or you're still not, something is not connecting, right? Either it's, the community, you're not building your community. You're not making enough sales. But you know what? None of that. Let's just cut to the bottom line. You're not making the sales that you want to make, okay? You're not making the sales that you want to make in your business. And that's a problem, especially if you're spending hours of time on the platform where your people hang out. That's a problem, okay? So what I want to do here today, what I'm going to share with you is some things, that you may be doing wrong here on social media and how you can actually correct those things. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump in. Okay. So we're going to jump in. I wrote down a list of things here that I want to share because I don't want to forget those. Okay. So the very first thing that I see when I'm working with people, or just, I have this thing where I love my students. So if you're a part of my Canva certified community, and if you're somebody that engage with me on a regular basis, I follow you on social media, right? I like your business page. I'm checking you out if you have a business page, right? I'm checking you out. I'm seeing what you're doing on your business pages, because a lot of times I hear you in a group and I hear you say, oh, this isn't working for me, or I'm trying to do this and this isn't working. And I get that. And I also see that you sign up for the same trainings that I offer over and over again. That tells me that something isn't connecting for you. So I do a little research to find out what's going on with them. What's the real thing? And a lot of what I find is that you're not showing up on social media, right? Or if you are showing up, you're doing it all wrong. So the very first thing that I find a lot of times is that you're trying to talk to everybody. That's number one. Could somebody type that in the chat? You're trying to talk to everybody. You can't market to everyone because everyone is not your ideal client. Everyone does not want what you're marketing or what you're selling. Like, you have to come to terms with that. I was in the same place. I want to serve everybody too, but it doesn't work like that. Like, I promise you, it doesn't. When you try to market to everybody and you try to sell to everybody, nobody is listening to you. You know why? Because you have to get so specific on who it is that you're targeting, who it is that you're speaking to. There are a billion or so people online. You cannot market and sell to everybody because not everybody knows what you want. Okay. Another way to think about this is, it's also a really crowded space, a crowded market space. People are starting businesses at an alarming rate now, especially due to the COVID pandemic. So that means that you thought online was crowded before. Baby, it's about to get even more crowded. And if your message isn't speaking and connecting with your specific audience, your message is not going to land. It's just going to be out there in space. You need for your message to land. It's almost like, and you know what, the thing that came to the top of my mind is we brought my son, I think it's called an arrow. I don't even know, like a bow and arrow. Is that what they're called? Like archery. So we brought him a set because we want to teach him how to shoot arrows. I want to learn. My husband wants to learn. And so we are doing that as a family. And so we went and we, looked at bows, and we brought my husband and my son. They got their set. I haven't got mine yet. And so we began learning how to do that, how to shoot bow and arrows as a family. And what this reminds me of is that when my son, when we're learning, did you guys hear that? Holy cow. It's storming here in Houston. That was loud. We have a target that we're looking to hit, right? So when we're aiming for this really like this red circle. So there's all these different layers. It's this big circle and it has all of these other rings, right? But in the middle is this red dot. That's the target. That's what we're trying to shoot for. But then it has all of these other layers, right? And yeah, those layers are great too, but we really want to get right in the middle, right? And so you want to think about that too when you're marketing. You want to make sure that you have a target. That target is your audience. You have to get so specific, the same as when we're trying to aim our arrows or aim our bow to kind of get that arrow right in the middle. That is the same thing that you want to do when you're marketing. You have to be so specific on who it is that you're speaking to, because you can't be talking to men and women the same way because the message is not going to land. It's just not. You have to market to men and women separately. You have to market to different age demographics. You have to market to them separately, right? So for millennials, that message may be a little different for Gen Xers, and for people that are, in their that are retiring and trying to start a whole new career or the second phase of their life, the messaging is going to be completely different for them because their needs and their desires are different from somebody that's a millennial. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to get super specific on your messaging. You have to understand exactly who your target audience is or your ideal client so that you can then aim appropriately so that you're not out here just shooting willy-nilly at everything because ain't nobody going to listen to you like that. Okay. So that's number one. The number one mistake that you're making is that you're trying to market to everybody and nobody's listening. Get clear on who it is that you serve so that you can create content specifically for that group of people. Okay. So that is number one. Number two is you're not being consistent, right? So for those of you that are like, yeah, but I know who my ideal client is. And yeah, I know that I don't have to speak to everybody. I already know that, Keisha. Okay. Well, then are you showing up consistent? You have to be consistent. Okay. You have to show up consistently. You can't show up and drop a post today and then not come back for 3 weeks because it doesn't work. You know how I know that? Because I've done that. I've done that before. People show up when you're consistent. People show up when you provide value consistently. You have to be consistent in all areas of your business and your life. That, if you want to be frank about it. But we're speaking about social media here. So you got to make sure that you are consistent in your social media and the way that you show up, right? If you are going to be using live streams in your business, then show up and do a live stream and make sure that you do them, often. Say to yourself, make it a point, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do a live stream 2 to 3 days a week. Start a live streaming show of some kind or something so that you can then make it a point to show up every week to do your live streams. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to do something to help you hold yourself accountable. This is for live streaming. This is for posting. This is for whatever type of content that you're putting out there. You want to make sure that it is consistent and that it's of value. Don't nobody want garbage. One thing that I know for sure is that we got enough inspirational posts out here. Don't you think so? We got enough inspiration and encouragement. I am so tired of being encouraged and motivated. I am motivated and encouraged to hear. Like, provide some value. Show people what they can do to meet their goal, right? So what is that? What is it that you do, right? What is your specialty? What is your niche? What is it that, your superpower? What is that? What problem do you solve? Help people to solve a damn problem. And you know what? Another thing too, that I know that you're probably worrying about, but I don't want to provide too much content. I don't want to, like, how about if I over deliver? Like, if I provide too much value? There's no such thing as providing too much value. Boo. Okay. You can't worry about too much value. You know what I worry about? I worry about not providing enough value, because this is the fact here. I provide tons of value in my groups, here publicly, outside of my groups, and people are still showing up buying. You know why? Because they know that, damn, if she's providing me with this much value and I ain't even paying her nothing, can you imagine when I do invest what I'm going to get from her? So don't be worried about, oh, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give too much away. You're probably not giving enough anyway. You need to give more. So don't worry about if you're giving too much. Worry about if you're giving enough. All right. So that's like an added on thing there for those of you that worry about, am I giving too much value? No, you're not giving enough. So you need to give more. Okay. So that number 2 was consistency, was being consistent. Okay. Number 3 is, Lord, I got to put my glasses on, y'all. Number 3 is, this is my favorite. You're not listening, right? So for those of you that have a community, or you do have a following, or, social media may be working for you, but maybe you launch stuff or you put things out and then you don't get nobody to buy. You know what I'm talking about, y'all, that have these big communities and you got these big old email lists, but you create products and services or lead magnets and people they just ain't buying it. You know why they're not buying it? Because you're not listening. You have to listen to what people want. People tell you what they want. People tell you what they need. You have to listen. It's called social listening. Okay. That is a part of social media. Social media is just not about showing up, doing live streams, posting inspirational posts and sharing blog posts or whatever, your podcast or whatever that is. Social media ain't about you. Social media is about the people that you're here to serve. So you got to listen to the people, listen to them, and listen to what it is that they have to say. When you listen to what your community has to say, you will know what to create. You'll know what to create. You'll know what to create after that. And you'll continue to know what to create. You'll be able to sell out your launches and your programs and your products because you created what the people asked for. Stop creating stuff because you think it's best. You're not your ideal client. Right? You're not your ideal client. So you have to listen to your ideal client. Listen to them. Okay? So you want to listen and then you want to serve. Listen and then serve. They go together. Listen, serve. Listen, serve. You got to do 2. You got to do both. You can't do one without the other. You can't just be serving and not listening. That's like you go to a restaurant and you sit down and you place your order and the waitress ain't listening to what you're saying. And they bring you what they think you want, or they bring you what they feel like you should have. You would be like, I didn't order that. I don't want that. That's not what I asked you for. It's the same thing that your audience is doing to you right now. They're like, I didn't ask you for that. Give people what they want, and they will continue to show up. Okay. So that is number 4. Was that number 4? So let me recap. For those of you that are just joining, we're going to do a quick recap on what we just discussed. Is this good, y'all? Is this good? Am I providing some value here? Let me know. Let me know if I'm providing value. Let me know. Put some value in the chat. If I'm providing value and you're digging what I'm saying, then let me know. Put some values up. Let me know that this is valuable. If it's not, then we can stop here. If you feel like you've had enough, let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. This is what I do. I'm serving. This is what I'm doing right now. I've listened to my community and I've heard you say that you're struggling with social media. How do I get this to work? How do I get this to work? How did you build your community of 4,744 people in a matter of months? How did you do that? What did you do? How did you just do your planner launch and didn't have to run Facebook ads? You launched it to 368 people that signed up and you made $20,000 from a launch in 7 days. How did you do that? These are the questions that you're asking me, and I'm here showing up and I'm providing value and I'm telling you what you have to do. Right? So let me know if this is valuable. If this is valuable, then let me know it's valuable. Okay, thank you. So I will continue then. For those of you that are just showing up to join us, we are going through some things that you're not doing on social media and how you're doing it all wrong. So number 1, we talked about your marketing to everybody. That's a big mistake. Get super clear on who you're targeting, who's your target audience, who are you marketing to, and then market to those specific people. Everybody don't want your stuff. And you don't want everybody else's stuff, right? How would you feel if you just got people just marketing to you stuff that you don't want? You know how that feel when them people come into your inbox and offer you stuff that ain't even for you. That's the same way people feel when you're marketing things to them that they don't want. Okay. So make sure that you know who you are marketing to. Have a target. Aim for that target. Okay. That's your audience. Get clear on your target audience. Number 2, we talked about not being consistent. A lot of y'all, you got to be clear with yourself. Listen, if this is what you want, you got to show up consistently. It's like a job. It's like another job. Marketing your business is like a second job. Can I get that? Can somebody put that in the chat, please? Marketing your business is like a second job. It is. It's a job in itself, and you got to show up and you got to do it. If you cannot pay somebody to do this for you, then you need to do it yourself. And it's a job. It's a job. Okay. So you got to show up and you got to do it consistently. Number 3 is you're not listening, boo. You're not paying attention. Social media is about listening. A part of social media is about listening. So when you're doing all that posting and all that other stuff and you wondering why ain't nobody liking your post, because you ain't listening. You ain't listened to the first time when they told you what they needed. You posting stuff that they don't want. So no, they're not going to engage. For what? Listen. Okay. Social media is about listening. It's called social listening. If you don't believe me, look it up. Google's your friend, right? Serving, you got to be serving. Listening and serving are the same. They go together. So you got to be willing to serve. You listen and then you serve. You listen and then you serve. I listened to what you said and now I'm here serving. Okay. That's what that looks like. And then number 4. Are you ready for number 4? So we at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are at number 4. So number 4 is you're making the big mistake by not building a community. There is power in building community. Don't you know that as humans, what is the one thing that we long for? Do you know? I know that it's not money, right? Yes, money is a valuable thing because money provides freedom. That's what it gives me. I don't know what it gives you, but that's not the one thing that we crave as human beings. You know what we crave? We crave for belonging. We crave to be in a community of like-minded people. We crave that. So if you are not taking the time, you're spending 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on Facebook, and you not building a community of people with a tool Facebook gave you that you can do for free, you ain't even got to pay a fee. You could just build a community of like-minded people. You know what community means? It means a safe space for people to learn, develop, and to be themselves. That's what community means to me anyway. It means a safe space for people to learn, develop new skills, to grow, and to do it in a safe space, somewhere that they can feel like they can be themselves. That's what being a community does. And it's power in that. It's power in having that community. That's how I was able to launch my planner project without running Facebook ads. And you know, I love Facebook ads, right? But I was able to do that without running Facebook ads and do a launch of $20,000 because I built a community, but not just any community. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just not inviting any old body into my community. These are people that are my target audience. They are people that are wanting to learn how to attract their ideal clients using lead magnets that they can create. They're wanting to learn how to create and build sales funnels and lead generation funnels. These are people that want to learn how to market themselves online. This is my community. You understand? So those are the type of people that I am attracting into my community. You have to do the same thing. And if you're not building a community, you're doing yourself a disjustice. You're showing up online every day, doing live streams, posting on your business page. For what? Right? For what? You know how much easier it could be for you if you built a community of like-minded people, of people that wanted what you had to offer, so you wouldn't have to go fishing every day on your Facebook page to get new people and to get more sales. Like, this is real. This is real stuff. And it's just basic stuff. Like, what I'm saying to you is so simple, right? My brand, my business, what is it? Savvy, simple marketing. It's to make things simple. My brand is smart because I attract smart women and brave, smart men, right? But it's also simple. This is simple, easy stuff. This is not something that you haven't heard from some other leader or somebody else online. They've probably told you the same exact thing, right? So that's one thing that you're not doing, is you're not building a community. And if you are building a community, you know what you're doing wrong with that is you're expecting your community to just blow up overnight. Do you know how long I had my community, my Canva community? I had that community, I think it's probably like 3 or 4, maybe even 4 or 5 years old. Do you know when it started growing? When I started nurturing it. It's like a flower or a plant. You got to feed it. You got to nurture it. It's like a child even, right? You got to feed it. You got to nurture it. You got to be there for it. You got to support it. You know, you got to water it with amazing things like value, support, you know, a space for people to show up and be themselves. And that's how I was able to grow my community. And that's why my community is a very powerful community, is because I spent time doing all those things, right? So don't expect for this to kind of grow overnight, but can it grow? Can you do it? Will it take you years? No, it doesn't have to take you years, but it can be done. But don't expect for you to start a Facebook group today and think that it's going to be, you know, bringing you $20,000, $50,000, $30,000 launches tomorrow, right? That's just not using good common sense. All right. So, and then number 5, are you ready for number 5? If you're ready for number 5, let me get some 5s in the chat. If you're ready for number 5. Let's get some 5s in the chats if you're ready for number 5. Just hit 1,000 yet members. Congratulations. I can't see your name, whoever that is, but you said you just hit 1,000 members in your community. Congratulations to you. All right. So Rebecca says 5. Ivy says 5. Shaniqua says 5. Okay. All right, Yvonne 5. Doriel says 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. All right, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Famira 5. Marvette 5. Awesome. All right, so let me share number 5. Number 5 is that you maybe, and I'm not saying that you are, like all the things that I shared here with you, these are things that I'm seeing happen. So maybe all of these things that I share may not land with you, but maybe some of them will, right? But there's another thing that I see, and that's that the images that you use, they're not connecting with your audience. And the content that you create is not connecting with your audience. And this is why. We are very visual beings, right? Do you agree with me? Whenever you see an image or when you see a post online, what is the first thing that stops you? Is it the image or is it the words that you're reading? Be honest. I want you to tell me, is it the image or is it the words? Type in image, or if it's words, type in words. For me, it's image. And I know for a lot of my clients and the people that I attract, it's the same way. We're very visual people. So it's the image that attracts them. If you're not using the right images, it doesn't matter how many times you post online. It doesn't matter, because you're not going to be able to attract the right people because you're not using the right images. Okay. For me, with my brand, I am very airy fairy, right? I'm very light. My background is, light. It has some little pops of the blue. The clothes that I wear are very light. I'm very light and airy because that's just me, right? That's my brand. A lot of the images and photos that I share online are the same. They're very light and airy, right? I also share images that attract women who look like me, because that is my target audience. I'm not saying that I don't work with women who don't look like me, because I do. Right? I do. I have a really wide audience of women that are not of color, and I serve and I support them as well. Right? But when I'm marketing, 9 times out of 10, I'm using a woman that looks like me, because I want that to connect and land with women that are scrolling, that they see that picture, they can see themselves in that image. Right? So not only themselves as far as it being a woman of color, a woman not of color, but also, what is that woman doing? Is she on her phone? Is she on a laptop? Is she laying in her bed? What exactly is she doing? All of those things matter, especially when you're trying to connect with people. Images matter, and they're so important. Okay. So when you get people's attention and you connect them, they're like, oh, this image, then what is the next thing that you do? You read the post. That's where the content comes in. You have to be able to connect with people through your content as well, because the images are just not going to work alone. What will happen is, if you just have really pretty images, but your content is not hitting or connecting with people, you'll get a whole lot of likes and a whole lot of shares. But when it's time for you to sell something or to get people to take action to do something, your conversion rate, meaning getting people to sign up or buy something, will be very low. And that's because the content, the words that you're writing, isn't matching the image or the emotion. It's not connecting with them. Okay. You have to make sure that your content and the image work together. The image attracts people to you. That makes them stop mid-scroll, like, whoa, well, wait a minute, what is this? And then the words that you use, the content, then builds that connection. They can say, yes, oh my God, how did she know that? Have you ever read a social media post or a blog post or a sales page or anything like that, and you felt like, how did this person know these things about me? It was almost like they connected to your soul. It was like, how did they know? But how did she know that I was struggling and going through this? How did she know that I was hiding and I'm scared? And how did she know that I don't follow through on stuff? How did she know that I'm not really showing up? Like, how does this person know these intimate details and things about myself? And that's because you've really you're using soul inspiring content. You have to have both. You have to have both. Okay. Pretty images is only going to get you so far. And if you are somebody and you do create soul inspiring content, but your images are kind of whack, they're not going to get to the content because you're not stopping them in the scroll with the images. Do you get what I'm saying? So they work together. Okay. So those are the 5 mistakes that you may be making when marketing on social media. And this is why you're doing it all wrong, because if you're not doing these things, it's a combination of things. If you're not doing them, then that's why people are not signing up for your stuff. This is why people are not joining your group. This is why people are not liking and sharing your posts. This is why you're struggling in the area of social media marketing, is because either a combination of these things, or maybe 1 or 2, or maybe just 1, right? So think about those things so that you can then get better at that. It's like a muscle. You have to flex it. You have to get better on social media, right? So I am also want to let you know that if you are struggling in this area, don't worry, because I got you. I'm just not going to show up and do this live stream and tell you all the things that you should be doing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to invite you to join me and Famira Green for our 5-day social media challenge. It's called Canva and Content, because what I've learned is you can't just have one. You can't just have one. They work together. You have to use both of them together. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share that with you here now. I'll share it on my screen too so that you can sign up. And it is bit.ly, and it's Canva and the number 2 and then content. It'll take you to the landing page and you can sign up for the challenge. We get started on Monday. Monday, me and Famira will be going live together, and then we will be going live separate after that, because we want to take you through. I'm going to teach you all about the design aspect, the images, having the images connect with your ideal audience, your ideal client, all of those things that have to do with like design. I'm also going to teach you how to design and create some social media posts so that they are attractive and appealing. But I'm also going to be talking about images a lot, so that you can understand how to use them in social media. Famira is going to be talking about soul-inspiring content and how you can use soul-inspiring content to attract your ideal client. Because remember, the image is what stops the scroll, but the content is what connects you. Okay, so you need both. Okay, so make sure you sign up if you haven't signed up for that. And so what did you guys think? Do you have any questions about this? I can take a few questions for a few minutes. If you have questions, I can take some of those. Kimberly Cole says, I so need this. Kimberly, I think we all do, because I wasn't always good at social media marketing. I showed up a lot. I spent hours and hours on Facebook, hours and hours. It's wasted my time. I was wasting time. I was scrolling, liking photos. I would post little things. I would share little things. I would do little things. And it was just not working. It was just not connecting for me. And you know what happened to me since then? I did the work to show up. I did the work to learn about my target audience, learn about my ideal client. I learned about, how I learned about images and stuff like that. Nobody taught me. I tested different things. That's another thing. Don't be afraid to test different images. See what works best, right? Sometimes real life images of people, of, like stock photos work better than like really pretty desktop stock photos. And sometimes those stock photos work best. Sometimes images of yourself work better. Right? So test different things to see what works best for you, but always be testing. Marketing is all about testing. So you have to be willing to test to see what works. And then if it doesn't work for you, try something else. But the thing is, don't give up. Okay. And since I've been doing this, I can post less now. I'm not having to show up as much as I did before when I was in the midst of everything, trying to figure it all out. Now I don't have to show up as much on my pages. I still post, but I don't have to do it as much. You know why? Because now I have solid communities, right? I have an email list that's growing every day. I have a group where it's growing every day. I have 50 or more people joining my group every single day, right? And that is from me just putting in the work up front. But you can have the same exact thing, okay? So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Valerie says this was very helpful. Thank you. Yep, I was posting willy-nilly. Yeah, and that doesn't work. It doesn't. It doesn't work. And another thing that I want you to think about too is you got to have a plan for your social media. Like, you got to have a plan, right? Every Sunday I sit and I say, okay, what is my goal for the month? This is a bonus tip. I sit and I ask myself, what is my goal for the month of June? So I start at the beginning of June, the end of May, and I said, what is my goal? What is my financial goals? And then what do I need to do to meet my financial goals? What do I need to create? Okay. And then from there, I work backwards. And what kind of content do I need to create to get that? Right? What am I doing? What am I selling? What am I doing? And then when I know what I'm selling based on the goal of the money that I want to make, then I work backwards to what do I need to create to attract the people? What do I need to create to engage my audience? What do I need to create to lead up to those things? Right? Another thing is you got to sell. A lot of y'all ain't selling. A lot of you have amazing ideas. You've shared your ideas with me on what you want to do, but I don't see you doing it. I don't see you doing it out there. You cannot be afraid to make the sell, because you know what? One of two things is going to happen. Either people are going to buy or they're not going to buy. And that's okay, right? Either way. But you got to make the sale, man. You got to offer something. You just can't continue to post all these inspirational stuff and share everybody else's stuff and not offer, and not sell anything. That's killing you. So plan your social media out. Just don't be all willy-nilly. Like Kimberly said, don't be all willy-nilly about your posts. Sit down on Sunday is like the perfect time. I know for me, maybe not for you, but pick a day when you can plan out your week and say, okay, so this is what I want to do, right? And then be really honest and clear with yourself. Where are you at right now in your business? Because it may not be time for you to be selling nothing, because another thing that I find is that you're selling too fast. You don't even have an audience. You don't even have people that see your value, and you're out here putting stuff out there. Yes, I want you to sell, but I want you to provide value. Let people see what you can do and all that other stuff. And then, of course, go ahead and make your sell. But you got to provide something, So make a plan. Start on Sunday and say, okay, so this is the content that I'm going to create. And if you have something that you're launching or something that you're selling, make that content connect to that thing, right? So that it makes sense based on what you're selling. Tie it all in together. Okay. You got to have some type of social media plan or something together so that you can make all this work for you. Okay. Right. Valora says, don't be a gatherer of information. A lot of people do that, right? You sit and you collect all of this damn information, like this training, like this little training that I just did for you right here, right? This little live stream. You could do one of two things with this information. You can take it back and you can say, okay, maybe not everything that I shared with you landed, meaning maybe not all of this really connects or relates to you, but the pieces that I did hit home on, that you were like, she punched me in the gut. Like, oh my God, that was really, I felt that. Like, I totally need to start doing that. Then do it. Make a plan to start making some changes. That's the only way. You just continue to show up on live streams and telling me how great I am and all that other stuff is not going to help you in your business, right? I love you. Thank you for showing up for me. But I want you to show up for yourself more. So make the changes that you got to make in your business so that you can meet your goals, I don't know about you, but one of the most frustrating things in business for me was when I could not meet my goal. Like, that was just like so frustrated, but I didn't have anybody to blame but myself, because I wasn't doing the things that I should have been doing, and it was maybe because it was fear, maybe it was because of not knowing how, fear, I know that's a big part of why we don't do a lot of stuff, is because we're afraid. We're afraid, like, what happens after that? What happens next? But you got to decide, right? Being successful in business is all about a decision. Believe it or not. It's just about deciding that you want what you desire more than the fear. Whatever, but the choice is yours. You have to decide how you're going to move forward. All right. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to let you go. But I just wanted to come in and just share that with you. This will be up. I know I get a lot of people asking me, will this be up? Are you going to take it down? I'm not taking it down. It'll be up. I don't grab stuff unless it's a challenge. I don't literally take things down. But that's it. I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off. But thank you so much for showing up for me. I appreciate each and every one of you, of course. But, start showing up for you. Now I want you to start showing up for you, because if you don't show up for you, everything that I do here is for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that I do here is for nothing if you don't start showing up. And we need more women to show up. We need more women to show up. We need you. And the people that you're here to serve, they need you. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're welcome. You guys are all welcome. Thank you. All right. Ciao for now.